Welcome to Ask the Expert with noted radio host Steve Sleeper. Each week, Steve interviews entrepreneurs and professionals and shares their intriguing stories of success and service. Now, here's radio veteran Steve Sleeper.
Our guest is El Paso personal injury attorney Rob Lovett. The Lovett Law Firm believes in caring and commitment, and they have the experience needed to give you the support you deserve. I asked Rob about himself and his firm.
Well, my name is Rob Lovett. I'm from North Texas. I was raised in a trailer park on government cheese. I wanted to get out of the trailer park really, really badly, and I didn't have a lot of opportunities where I was, and so I kind of altered my education path so that I could get to schools that would enable me to get to the next level and to the next level. And in the course of doing that, I kind of moved from North Texas to Central Texas to the West Texas town of El Paso, where I've been since 1994, practicing as a lawyer. And, I knew from an early age I wanted to be an attorney. I was raised in an environment where people were consistently taken advantage of because they didn't have the tools, they didn't have the access to information or the knowledge to use the access to information when they got it. And that kind of just drove my whole trajectory, which is why I've been in El Paso for as long as I have and continue to practice as an attorney. I've done everything I can for the last 26 years to try to help as many people as I can, to put as much money in their pockets as I can, to make sure their medical bills are paid, to make sure that all their needs are addressed as best I can through my job.
Well, this is a good segue to my next question then, Rob. Why do I need an attorney if I've been in an accident and I'm injured?
The reason why people need an attorney is because the people on the other side know really well what they're doing. And it is extremely difficult for a normal person who has a job, who has a family, to try to be their own lawyer and try to negotiate a claim with an insurance company. Insurance companies spend buku bucks advertising, and people, they always tell me, well, I see, lawyer ads on TV all the time. Well, if you do a little experiment and you watch any program for an hour or so during any kind of daytime TV or any kind of TV show, you'll be just write down how many insurance commercials you see. You'll be staggered. These insurance companies, their whole business model is we sell insurance to people for as much as we can get away with, and then we hold on to that money for dear life. That's their whole business model. So what part of that business model leads you to believe that an insurance company is going to be fair with you? They have no incentive to do it. The only reason that people believe that is because they're a good neighbor, or you're in good hands, or you have a gecko walking across the street without any pants on. And somehow that's supposed to make you feel all warm and tingly that this Allstate is going to take care of you. And that the reality is they have no incentive to do that whatsoever. What I have commonly seen, even with an attorney, is that insurance companies are not out for the best interest of the people that are injured in the accident. They're in the best interest of their own interest. And so anybody that's ever in an accident, if they have any kind of injury at all, they need an attorney, because Allstate and State Farm dang sure know what they're doing. And if you have to rely on the beneficence of an insurance company to give you what's fair, then I think you're going to get shortchanged just about every time.
So if I understand correctly, then you work on a contingency basis, right?
Absolutely. And there's a lot of common misconceptions about that as well. The contingent fee system is set up so that my client never pays me a dime. I have to be, and all the lawyers that work in this field, we have to be extremely good at what we do, because if we don't get your case settled, we don't eat. It's as simple as that. We have to be very, very good at what we do, because our client is never obligated to pay us anything unless we're successful. And so our contingent fee is simply that. What I tell people is when you come in and you hire the Lovett Law Firm and you get us as your attorney, you don't have to worry about your case anymore. You don't have to worry, are my bills going to be paid? You don't have to worry, is my car going to be fixed? You don't have to worry, am I going to be better? All that you have to worry about is going to the doctor and taking care of yourself, and we take care of everything else so that you don't have to worry about your case.
So how do I know if I have a case?
Well, generally, it's common sense. I mean, if you've got an accident where, two cars kind of bump into each other and there's barely a scratch on the bumper or something like that, then you probably don't need a lawyer. You need a lawyer if you have an injury involved with your case, as long as, the liability is clear on the other side. And unfortunately, if you cause an accident, then there's not a lot of remedies for you. The remedies are for the people that actually get injured through someone else's actions, or what we call negligence. Negligence is a fancy word that just means that someone didn't do what they were supposed to or did something they weren't supposed to.
Rob, let's talk about a scenario here. I'm driving my car. I'm the only one in my car. Somebody runs a red light and T-bones me, okay? I can get out of the car. I don't feel like I'm hurt. Are there some things I should do after an accident like that?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing you want to do is call the police. And we run into this all the time too, Steve, and where people, the other person will get out of the car and say, oh, you know what, Steve, I'm so sorry. I was in a hurry. My mom's in the hospital. My dog's sick, whatever reason they come up with. Can we just, keep this between us? And you being a reasonable person or thinking you're a reasonable person will go, okay, he's admitting fault. We'll let the insurance companies deal with this. Well, that's the number one rule. Don't do that ever, ever, ever. Because we're not interested at the Lovett Law Firm about getting people in trouble or getting them tickets or anything like that, but we are interested in an official recording of events. And what happens when you have a police officer come to the scene and do an investigation, one of the things he does is talk to the drivers and then puts into the report a narrative of what that driver said. And again, I've been doing this a very long time, Steve. I've been doing this for 26 years. I've handled over 30,000 injury cases. I've seen it all. And one of the things that I most commonly see is people don't call the police. The driver leaves. A couple of days later, he gets a call from his insurance company saying, hey, Joe Blow, we heard that you ran a red light and hit this person. And now Joe Blow will say, oh, no, it wasn't me. And I didn't run a red light. They had the red light. And then the story completely changes. And now because we don't have an official version of events, I have nothing with which I can shove down that insurance company's throat saying, look at what your driver told the police officer at the scene, and now he's telling you a different story. The second thing you need to do is if you're hurting at all, you need to go get some treatment, and you need to do it relatively soon. Go to the hospital. I mean, auto accident injuries are nothing to mess about. The next thing you do is to take photographs at the scene, obviously, because we need photographs of the cars, we need photographs of the intersection. If you can talk to the other driver and record what he says, I mean, as long as you're upfront about that and say, look, you know what, I don't have that great of a memory. I'm kind of shook up here. Do you mind if I record you? Then that's perfectly legal, and that goes a long way. You want to get a hold of me. You want to get an attorney involved as soon as possible, because from the minute that insurance company of the other driver becomes aware that there's a claim, there is a tremendous mechanism set in place that you can't even begin to imagine. That the sole job is to mitigate their responsibility, to make as possible as they can make it, that they have to pay as little as they can pay.
Rob, as we do this interview, we're about 5 months into the COVID pandemic. How are you handling that, and how are you meeting with folks?
Well, initially we had some getting used to. I mean, thankfully we've invested a lot in technology, and we're able to do just about everything we were able to do either via Zoom or via telephone call and whatnot. I mean, I've been very careful with my people, my employees or my family, and I want to make sure they're safe. And so initially we went on a rotation schedule. Now that things have died down quite a bit, we're working full time. We're here all the time. We maintain our social distances. We wear our masks. We practice all the things that we're required to do. But life does go on, and there's still accidents going on, and people still need our help. So we're open 100% to deal with people's injuries claims, to deal with them things. We deal with it. We do everything pretty much electronically now. We exchange all our documents through email. We can actually sign up a client, and they never have to come to our office.
Our guest today is attorney Rob Lovett. Call him for a free consultation at 915-757-9999.
Thanks for listening to Ask the Expert with Steve Sleeper. Join us next time as entrepreneurs and professionals share their intriguing stories of success and service.